They hurt you. You know exactly what they did. You remember the specific words. You remember how your body felt. You remember lying awake replaying it. You remember deciding you were done, and then one ordinary Tuesday morning, you woke up missing them completely. Not the version that hurt you, the version from the beginning, the one that made you feel chosen, the one that made everything feel possible. That version is gone. It may never have fully existed, and you miss it anyway. The way you miss something real, the way you miss something that was yours, not something that was always going to end this way. You know the difference. And this feels like the first kind, real loss, specific loss, yours. And you cannot explain why someone who hurt you still takes up this much space. You have tried to explain it. You cannot. The explanation does not live in the part of you that explains things. It lives much deeper than that. In 2010, Helen Fisher at Rutgers University put recently rejected people inside MRI machines. She showed them photographs. Photographs of the person who hurt them, the person they could not stop thinking about. What she expected to see was grief, sadness regions activating, loss being processed. That is not what she saw. The regions that activated were the dopamine reward regions, the craving circuit, the same system that fires for cocaine, the same system that fires for gambling. Not similar regions, identical regions. Your brain had classified that person as a reward. And rewards do not stop being rewarding, simply because obtaining them became painful. The brain does not receive that memo. It just knows one thing: that person produced dopamine, and it wants it back. But here's what makes it worse. The missing does not feel like craving. It feels like injury, like something was removed that was supposed to stay, like a wound in a place you did not know existed. In 2011, Ethan Kross at the University of Michigan placed rejected people in brain scanners. He applied mild physical heat to their forearm, enough to cause discomfort. Then he showed them photographs of the person who rejected them. The same brain regions activated, for both the physical heat and the photograph, identical neural territory. Social pain and physical pain are processed by the same systems. This is not metaphor. This is not poetic language about heartbreak. When you miss someone who hurt you, your brain is generating something physiologically similar to a physical injury. The missing is not just emotional. It has a component your body experiences as real, which is why it feels like something that happened to your body, because in a precise neurological sense, it did. To understand why this system exists, you have to leave the laboratory entirely. You have to go back to a camp of 25 people. Your ancestors lived in groups that small, everyone known personally, everyone connected to survival directly. Losing a member of that group was not an emotional event. It was a survival event. A hunter who left reduced the food supply. An elder who died took irreplaceable knowledge. Every loss was a practical threat to everyone who remained. The brain that made separation feel like physical injury was the brain that worked hardest to prevent it, that kept people inside the group by making leaving feel like dying. The missing you feel right now is not a design flaw. It is the most successful social bonding mechanism your species ever produced, built to keep 25 people alive on a savanna, running inside you right now, at full capacity, for someone who hurt you, 200,000 years after it was built, for a completely different problem. But why specifically the people who hurt you? Why does the missing feel more intense? For the ones who cause damage, Roy Baumeister at Florida State University studied this directly. He called it the bad is stronger than good principle, published in 2001. His finding was precise. Negative experiences have significantly more psychological impact than equivalent positive ones. A single painful interaction requires multiple positive interactions to return to emotional baseline. The brain allocates more memory to bad events, more processing resources to bad events, more emotional weight to bad events, not a malfunction. A survival optimization. Your ancestors needed to learn from threats faster than from pleasures. A threat forgotten could kill you. A pleasure forgotten just meant you missed something nice. The brain that remembered pain more vividly survived, which means the person who hurt you is more deeply encoded in your memory than anyone who only ever made you feel good. The pain made them permanent, whether you wanted that or not. There is one more mechanism, the one that explains why you specifically missed the early version, the one before everything went wrong. Daniel Kahneman at Princeton University developed the peak-end rule in 1993. Your brain does not store experiences as continuous recordings. It stores two specific moments: the peak, the most emotionally intense point, and the end, how it felt when it was over. Everything in between is compressed: the ordinary difficult days, the slow erosion of something already breaking, the gradual accumulation of damage. Edited out? What remains is the peak and the end. The beginning that felt like everything and the ending that felt like loss. Not the long middle, where the truth was fully visible. So you miss a version of them, your memory made more real than reality was, more complete, more present, more worth missing than the actual person who was actually there, ever fully justified. Bessel van der Kolk at Boston University spent decades studying trauma bonds. His finding explains why the people who cause the most damage often create the strongest attachments. When a person causes you pain and then relieves that pain, when they create the wound and then offer the comfort, your brain forms an attachment more powerful than ordinary connection creates. The cycle of hurt and repair becomes encoded as the definition of intimacy. Your nervous system learns that this specific person can regulate your emotional state in both directions. They can break you and they can fix you. That bidirectional power creates a dependency that functions like addiction, because they hold both, the wound and the medicine. Leaving them means losing access to the only source of relief. Your nervous system has learned to recognize. Your brain does not evaluate this. It just tracks who controls the pain switch and attaches accordingly. The specific cruelty of this is that understanding it does not stop it. You can list everything they did. You can read the list out loud. You can show it to everyone you trust. Everyone who hears it will confirm what you know, and you will miss them anyway. Not because the list is wrong, because the missing is not responding to the list. It is responding to the dopamine deficit, to the social pain signal in your body, to the peak-end memory that edited out the middle, to the trauma bond that made them the source of both the wound and the relief, to the 200,000-year-old system that was built to make separation feel like dying. None of these systems speak the language of lists. None of them respond to evidence. None of them update based on what you consciously know. They run below that at the level where the body operates, where the ancient wiring operates, where the decision about who you are attached to was already made before you had words for any of it. The list is real. The missing is also real. Both things are true at the same time, and one does not cancel the other. It stops when it stops, not when you understand it, not when you have processed it completely, not when you have forgiven them, not when you have filled the space with something else, not when enough time has passed. The dopamine system recalibrates on its own timeline. The social pain signal fades on its own schedule. The peak-end memory softens at its own pace. The trauma bond loosens through its own process. None of these timelines are negotiable. None of them respond to effort or will. Your ancestors could not simply decide to stop missing a member of their group. The system was not built with an off switch. It was built to be persistent, built to outlast temporary separations, built to keep pulling you back toward connection, because in the world it was designed for, going back was usually the right answer. That person is not in that world. The system does not know that. It is still running the original program, still making the loss feel like something that must be recovered. It will keep doing this until the day it doesn't, and that day will come without warning, but it has not come yet.